Okay, so there's some new jailhouse calls that came out with Jamie where, like, she literally is on camera talking, laughing, flirting. I'm telling you that ahead of time so that we're kind of on the same page, okay? But she decided to plead guilty. Now, I want to see her sentencing, which Court TV calls this, quote, deeply ashamed Jamie Komoroski speaks at sentencing. And if you need a little reminder of what happened here, Jamie Komoroski was out with her friends, drinking, day drinking, bar hopping all over the place. And she'd go to a bar, get drunk, and get behind the wheel. Go to a bar, get drunk, and then get behind the wheel. And the last time that she got behind the wheel, she hit somebody. She hit a golf cart. And that golf cart had two newlyweds. That's right, they had just left their wedding. She crashed into them, killing the bride almost instantly on her wedding night, while her new spouse was left to go from such an extreme high of the night of their wedding night to losing his future partner. And after that, Jamie didn't understand what the big deal was. It was a mistake. I don't know why everybody's so upset. Her lack of accountability was astounding to watch. It was absolutely astounding. So I'm curious here, what has changed? Other than her attorney clearly telling her it's a better idea to plead guilty.
My name is Jamie Komoroski, and on the night of April 28, 2023, I chose to drink and drive, which resulted in the death of Samantha Miller and the serious injuries of Eric Hutchinson and injuries to family members Benjamin and Brogan.
I have to say, I have no idea what she's gonna say next, but she has never, ever even acknowledged. She literally said in one of her calls with her dad, I don't know why this is happening to me. So I don't know what she's about to say, but to at least start off by acknowledging, saying, I chose to drink and drive, I caused the serious injuries, and I caused the death of. It's something that it's not enough, but it is something that we have never heard from Jamie Komoroski. So somebody got through to her a little bit, or maybe it's just for the sake of a lower sentencing.
This is the worst decision I have ever made in my life, and it has affected the lives of so many. First and foremost, I want to address all the victims of the accident I caused and say how truly and deeply sorry I am. Due to my poor decisions, a beautiful life was taken. A wife, sister, daughter, and friend of many is no longer with us. And for that, while I know an apology will fix nothing, all I can say is how incredibly remorseful I am. I also am truly sorry and remorseful for the physical and emotional pain I caused to the other family members. I wish I could go back and undo this terrible tragedy, but I cannot.
I have to say, honestly, even though it is giving script, this is actually some of the most accountability that I've ever seen at a sentencing statement. But accountability does not negate murder. In an online space, we're like, oh, we want somebody to be accountable for this or something. And sure, we're kind of getting that. It's not even the bare minimum. Yes, you should plead guilty. Yes, you should take a lot of accountability for this. But you know, the other thing I just can't get out of my mind is, though she is saying the right things in the script right now, one piece of the story from almost a year ago was she felt like she had connected with one of the people that worked in the jail or the courts. I can't remember exactly who it was. And she was kind of bragging, saying, oh yeah, they're going to get me out of this. I'm going home. I'm doing this. She planned to use an official and she was just going to go home.
I also want to express my deep remorse and sincere apologies.
Yeah, hold on. I want to point this one out. Meal said this straight up, like this is just what it is. It's really hard to feel bad for her because they lost a wife, a daughter, and a loved one on what was supposed to be the happiest night of her life. There is nothing Jamie can really do here except say, I'm sorry, now go to jail. Like, that's it.
Sincere apologies to all who were involved in this tragedy, including the first responders, police, friends, and families of the victims, and anyone who was hurt in any way.
Man, they really told her acknowledge everybody.
This will be something that impacts all of you for the rest of your lives. I take full responsibility for the tragic outcome that my decisions have made. I will carry this guilt with me for the rest of my life. And as much as I wish I could go back in time and have none of this happen, I know that cannot be done. A lesson I have learned is that just because you have good intentions or would never want to hurt anyone, if you aren't being responsible for your actions, you can and you will hurt people. I know I am going to be punished for these actions, and I agree that it is something that must be done. I would like to make it clear that whatever my punishment is, I will use the time to better myself.
Which, by the way, I believe we are about to hear exactly what her sentencing was. Don't look it up yet.
I will use the time to better myself, spread awareness about the dangers of drinking and driving, continue to help others with addictions.
Darkard said, I've always wondered this before. We talk a lot about what's wrong in speeches like these, but what's an example of what you would consider good? Like, how does anybody do this correctly? I don't think anybody makes their sentencing speech, does it correctly. I think that it's all about the initial act. And when we're talking about a conscious bad act that somebody was doing over and over and over again, drinking and driving, knowing what the repercussions are, you can't go back to that moment in time. I think that watching sentencings or hearing what people say at the end of sentencing, there's not really a right or wrong because you've already done wrong and you can't make it right. Like, you cannot make a murder, especially one this vicious, to be frank, you can't make that right. She acknowledges how everyone felt about her. She acknowledges all the people that were involved, but at the same time, it is not enough.
Spread awareness about the dangers of drinking and driving.
Will she?
Continue to help others with addictions through AA. I work every day to improve myself, to give maximum service to the community and my fellows.
Everything she just said might be total bullshit. But what if Jamie Komoroski really did dedicate herself to, speaking out against drunk driving? Like, you know what? Shit, I don't know. Actually, no, there's nothing you can do. I'm just thinking about this. There's nothing you can do. You just can't do the fucking action. You can't kill people. I'm even thinking about after she serves her time and gets out of jail, no, you killed somebody on your wedding night.
Some ways I plan on doing this include staying extremely involved in AA and the fellowship of helping people recover from their addictions. I am able to do this because I know what it is like to be an addict. I did not want to believe that I had addiction to alcohol before this tragedy, and so I told myself every day I was normal. The fact was, though, that I was helplessly addicted to alcohol and that I was living every day with no meaning. This led to me not caring about how my actions would affect others. I plan on going back to school to get a master's degree in animal-assisted therapy.
Okay. This is a lot of talk. Sure, that would be nice if Jamie Komoroski stays sober, is extremely involved with AA, works for charities, spreads awareness, and gets a degree helping animals. But honestly, this is a lot of talk. This is a lot of talk to the point that it starts to sound a little disingenuous. But we started off strong.
This degree will allow me to follow out my dreams of being able to help people recover from PTSD, anxiety, depression, addiction, and more through the use of rescue animals.
What?
Lastly, I want to share my story with as many people possible in order to try and prevent tragedies like this from happening to other families. I want to emphasize the importance of warnings of drinking and driving to college students as well as young adults who haven't heard the message since high school.
She doesn't want to go in for long. She wants to get out real bad. But as she's saying all this stuff, I'm wondering how many years are they going to give her? Here's the thing. With the way she's talking right now with the sentencing, I could see a lot of judges choosing to give her, 5 years, 8 years or something. But the family is fighting right now. The family is fighting for justice for her. I think it would be impossible to look at their faces in the courtroom and give Jamie Komoroski 8 years just because she said that she would help animals.
It is vital.
Nicole said, I'd be content with 30. Yeah.
Don't stop after the age of 18. I feel we all need to be reminded, no matter what our age is, so that the reality that this can happen, if not careful, stays fresh in people's minds. I have never been in trouble before.
It doesn't matter.
But
This is really bad.
one isolated decision of mine devastated so many lives. All of this work I plan on doing will be dedicated to Samantha and her family. Unfortunately, it took this incredible tragedy and terrible incident to wake me up to the extent of my addiction. I hope to help people wake up and rehabilitate before it's too late. Because every single decision we make has consequences. And knowing you have taken a beautiful life from this world is something I will live with every moment of every day going forward.
Sometimes when I hear people cry, it sounds like they're crying for themselves. But when she says that, like this a beautiful life, when she's talking about Samantha, to me, it doesn't feel like she's crying for herself. It really does feel like she realized the severity of what she did. But like I said, that is the bare minimum.
A life that should have lived on to fulfill all of her
I'm trying to read this judge's face because I'm like,
who would have helped so many people in her life, all because of my own inconsiderate and thoughtless actions. I want the last thing that I say to be that from the very bottom of my heart, with every fiber in my being, how sorry I am, and that I take full responsibility. Hopefully one day you will be able to forgive me, but I know forgiveness must be earned.
Jamie says forgiveness must be earned. Now, did somebody write this for her? Sure. But did she say it with tears and a bit of conviction? Yeah. But now we need you to serve your sentence. Absolutely. Okay. All right. And hey, like, don't come at me for, having a soft spot for how she did. I just don't hear this in sentencing ever. I don't, we don't hear this type of accountability, and it's just a hard contrast from her before. So I'm surprised, but do the crime, do the time, right? Can't believe I just fucking said that. And also I'm shocked that that's the first time that I've ever said that on this channel.
Regardless of whether that day ever comes, please know that I will always be devastated, deeply ashamed.
I believe that. I believe it.
I'm sorry for what I have done. I pray God stands by the side of my victims and their family and loved ones for the rest of.
Damn. She said, I pray God stands by my family and the victims. Okay. Let's watch the sentencing.
Based on what has been presented to the court, I find the following appropriate in the nature of sentencing. On the offense of reckless driving, reckless homicide. Which is 2023 GS 103895. You're sentenced to the State Department of Corrections for a period of 10 years and $5,000 provided upon the service of 10 years. On both counts of felony DUI, great bodily injury, you're sentenced to the State Department of Corrections for a period of 15 years and $5,100 provided upon the service of 15 years.
Holy fuck!
And on the offense of felony DUI with death, you're sentenced to the State Department of Corrections for a period of 25 years and $10,100 provided upon the service of 25 years.
Yeah. Sorry. Yes. Was anybody else nervous that she was gonna go easy on her and give her 8 years or something like that? Dude, it happens all the fucking time. Okay, all the time. This lady was like, I'm seeing through the bullshit. Let's go. Oh, yeah. She's looking devastated. Yeah. She really pulled some Jodi Arias shit there in the sentencing speech. Y'all remember in Jodi's sentencing? She said, I will braid people's hair and I will run for president at the jail. And if you don't kill me, I'll do this and animals. And I'll draw people pictures.
Have a good afternoon.
Justice served.
I believe the clearance of the courtroom to security, so I would ask that everyone stay in place.
Jamie, you gotta go.
And allow Major Bernstead and those who are assisting him. Ma'am, you may want to leave any valuables you have.
And you know what? As it stands right now, she's somewhere in her 20s. She will get out when she's in her 40s. Or maybe with some good behavior, really, really good behavior, they might let her out a couple years early. She did something that she knows that she's not supposed to do, which is illegal and can kill people. And then she killed somebody, and now she still might get to live her life in her 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, okay? This is not a death sentence. It's justice. I don't know if you guys realize 25 years here is pretty damn good. Some of y'all were talking about y'all said, give her life. I knew we weren't going to get life. I get it though, but that's a good judge. She kept the statement short and sweet, gave her a pretty appropriate sentence, gave some justice for the family, and sent her ass on her way.